going to spend some time today talking about a soft skill in business that can have a big impact on customer and crew retention: effective listening. So let's start with something simple. When we say listening, we don't just mean hearing someone talk. Hearing is passive, it just happens. But listening, that's active. It's intentional. It means tuning in fully to understand not just the words, but the meaning, the emotions, and the unspoken messages behind them. Early in my career, I spent a couple years volunteering on a crisis line. I talked to people in all kinds of situations, from those struggling with mental health to those who just needed someone to talk to. And I learned something powerful. Often, the biggest help I could offer wasn't advice or solutions. It was just listening. Not pretending to listen, but actually listening. And that skill has shown up in my business life more times than I can count. In a professional setting, effective listening is one of the most underrated tools for success. It builds trust with clients, deepens team relationships, and helps you make better, faster decisions. So let's look at why it matters, what gets in the way, and what you can do to become a better listener. So why does effective listening matter? First, it builds trust. When you listen with intention, you show the other person that their perspective matters. And when people feel heard, they're more open, honest, and collaborative. Second, it reduces misunderstandings. Miscommunication wastes time, causes frustration, and can be expensive. Listening well helps you create clarity early and avoid problems later. Third, it improves decision making. When you truly understand what's being said when talking to a customer, a crew member, or a team member from your local office, you can respond with better, more informed choices. And last, it strengthens teams. Listening creates space for new ideas and healthy feedback. And that means better collaboration, fewer conflicts, and more innovation. So let's talk about what gets in the way of listening. Even with the best intentions, listening doesn't always come easy. So what gets in the way? One major barrier is preoccupation. Maybe your mind is racing with your to-do list, or you're already thinking about what you want to say next. It's hard to be present when you're stuck in your own head. Another barrier is assumptions or biases. If you walk into a conversation thinking you already know what the other person's going to say, you're not really listening, you're filtering. Emotional reactions can also trip us up. If something hits a nerve, you might start planning your defenses instead of actually hearing the message. And let's not forget the physical distractions: phones buzzing, noisy rooms, or multitasking. These can derail even the most focused listener. So what happens when we don't listen? It's easy to underestimate the cost of poor listening in business, but the consequences are real. If you don't listen to your team, over time, morale drops, people stop offering ideas, turnover may increase. Or consider a customer who doesn't feel heard. They might take their business elsewhere or leave a negative review. Either way, it's a lost opportunity. When we don't listen well, we risk making decisions on incomplete information. We miss warning signs, we repeat mistakes, and often we don't even realize it until the damage is done. On the other hand, what does effective listening actually look like? It starts with being present, and that means putting away distractions, closing the laptop, silencing your phone, and giving someone your full attention. It also means using nonverbal cues: eye contact, nodding, and an open posture. These small things show you're engaged and encourage the speaker to keep going. Verbal cues help too. Paraphrasing what someone said shows that you're tracking with them. For example, you may say, "So what I'm hearing is blank," or "It sounds like you're saying blank." And it means being willing to pause, breathe, and resist the urge to fix. Sometimes, especially in leadership or sales, we want to jump in with advice. But effective listening means holding space. Let the other person finish. Ask clarifying questions, and then respond. Listening is one of those quiet skills that has a huge impact. It's not flashy, but it drives trust, clarity, and performance. All things that every team and business needs to thrive. For now, remember this: listening isn't about waiting your turn to talk. It's about showing up, staying present, and being curious about someone else's perspective. That's how great conversations happen, and that's how great businesses grow.